So it has literally just finished at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Arsenal nil. Um, we have suffered our first defeat of the season. And well, the goal that split the two sides really did sum it up. Really, set piece, good free kick, and yeah. Sometimes games are gonna go like that, and let's start off with the 11 that kicked the game off. Only really stayed like that for about 5 minutes. With Saliba coming off, which yeah, doesn't look good. But Mosquera came on, and I thought he looked class. Thought he looked really calm on the ball and defensively. Held off Ekitike well alongside Gabriel. He really did nothing other than score an offside goal. Um, but yeah, I mean, Szoboszlai, the goal was amazing. You can't take anything away from it. Although I do think when you look at the goalkeeper, I'm not going to blame the goalkeeper, but I do think his starting position was quite poor. I think he's so over to the right. I literally said as soon as, well, before Szoboszlai took the free kick, there is so much space on that left-hand side of the goal, and that is exactly where he put it. Great execution from Szoboszlai there, and as I said, I'm not going to take anything away from the goal, superb goal, but we we just weren't good enough. I thought in the first half we were the better side and we posed threats, but I don't know what happened at half time, but we came up for the second half and that just completely went. Um, yeah, as I said, we posed a good threat, and I was one of the only Arsenal fans to really understand the team and the selection and why we put it out there, and it showed why we put it out there today to control the game and control the tempo of how the game would go, and I thought we did that well up until the goal. Um, but yeah, I mean it was poor um, in that second half, but standout player for me, I thought Madueke coming in for Saka, very direct, one of the most direct wingers that we've got at the club. Thanks Chelsea for your best winger. You've now got Garnacho and Jamie Kittens. Well, we've got your best winger from last season, so we can only really say thank you to you lot for that. Yeah, he looked great, and I mean, as I said on Friday Night Gunners with Marty, big shout out to Marty. Um, if this, if we were going to Anfield last year about Saka, it would have been Sterling or Trossard. And yeah, Madueke, huge upgrade there. Um, posed a real threat, as I've said. However, I can't really say that on the other side, to be completely honest, because Martinelli, again, it's just poor from Martinelli. There's a reason why he didn't get any minutes last week, because he's not good enough. And there are certain players where I will defend them because I do think fans have got genuine agendas against them. I'm looking at Mikel Merino. Every time he got on the ball, and because he's a bit slower than what Eberechi Eze or Ethan Ranieri is, people will just slander on him. And that's not fair. I thought Marino played well today. Big up Marino. I like Marino. I think he's a good player. And I really don't understand why there's so much hate towards him. But Martinelli, it's not an agenda. Yeah, I just don't think he's good enough anymore. Yeah, and people will say, oh, it's a tactical thing, blah, blah, blah. Or his decision making poor. Every time he runs forward and takes on the fullback, he runs it off the pitch. And when Eberechi Eze came on, shout out Eberechi Eze, by the way, Arsenal debut, had a few good moments. But as soon as he came on, looked 100 times better. Yeah, he actually plays with his head up. Same with Trossard, which is why I keep Trossard over Martinelli. And I really don't know how long Trossard's going to stay here for. Um, Obviously, he's got a new contract, but you know, you could say he's aging a little bit. But look, it's deadline day tomorrow, um, and it looks like Martinelli's going to be staying. And if that's the case, he cannot be starting every week because that was poor. from Martinelli. I'll tell you who else I thought was poor today. We'll get the negatives over after this, but I thought Zubamendi was poor today. Gave away the free kick which led to the goal. He's done that a few times. He was a bit rash at Old Trafford, and he was rash today. I really don't think he was that great today, to be completely honest. I thought what I liked was Declan Rice was dropping in a bit deeper, but yeah, Zubamendi I don't think was at it today, to be completely honest. But we'll get into the positives now. Declan Rice, I thought was great today. If we ignore the set pieces, because the outswingers were poor today, and the inswingers Liverpool dealt with very well. Credit to Liverpool for that. But yeah, I thought Declan Rice today, he was playing deeper, playing where his best role is, defending, um, made interceptions, stopped attacks from happening. I also want to give a shout out to. I've given the big up to Madueke. I'm going to give my other big up to Ricardo Calafiori at left back. Um, Lots of questions asked about that left back role um, going into the game on who would start there, but I thought Calafiori proved his doubters wrong today. I thought he was superb dealing with Mo Salah, who I thought had a stinker today. Um, yeah, Mo Salah weren't great. Calafiori locked him up. Um, what else can we talk about? Timber. You really have to talk about Timber. I mean, he looked good going forward, but I think as the game went on, obviously he went down and we ran out of substitutes to make. Um, and yeah, there's not really much to say about Timber. Um, he was average. I'm just going to say that. Gabriel, I said, looked strong. David Raya, I thought, other than the free kick, which I thought his positioning was poor, made a few saves but didn't really have much to do, to be completely honest, because we defended so well. And Gyökeres is the only other player that I haven't talked about from the starting 11. Victor Gyökeres, I thought he had good moments, but Konate's head looked very much more into it today, um, compared to the first games that he played. So, fair play Konate for that. I thought he was a lot better today than he has been. And I am someone who saw that right hand side of the Liverpool defence as a weak point for them, and to be fair, they proved me wrong um, during that game, because I thought Konate played well, and I think man of the match was Dominic Szoboszlai. But let's get into the player ratings quickly, because there's really not much to talk about the substitutes, other than Max Dowman coming on and looking more direct than Martinelli. Um, and I said about Eberechi already. So player ratings, I'll go David Raya. Didn't really have much to do, as I said. I'll probably give him a 6, average. Timber, again, 6. I think average again. Look good going forward, but yeah, I think the 6 is probably fair. Saliba I'm not going to rate because he literally played 5 minutes, so I'll rate Mosquera, and I'm going to give Mosquera a 7. I thought he defended well, and yeah, obviously the goal that separated the two sides wasn't down to him, I don't think, and yeah, I think it's just sometimes those goals can happen in football, and that is what football's all about. Great moment for Szoboszlai. Gabriel, I think if I'm going to give Mosquera a 7, I have to give Gabriel a 7 as well. Same reasoning, locked up Akatike well and defended well overall. Calafiori, I think 7's fair as well. I thought defensively he was very good today. But I thought going forward, we just didn't really have it as a team, other than someone else who I'll get onto in a minute. Declan Rice, I'm gonna give him a 7 because I genuinely thought his overall play was good, but I'm gonna have to deduct a point because the set pieces, they just weren't it. I know outswingers just, he's not used to them, obviously. Took more today than he did the whole of last season, but Yeah, I still think that you've got to be doing better on the corners, even the in-swingers. I just didn't really think from set pieces he looked up to it, but I thought other than that, Declan played well, and was probably our best midfielder. So I'll give him 7. Zubamendi, oh, I'm going to be brutally honest here. I'm going to give him a 5. I'm going to give him a 5. I mean, as I said, against Leeds he looked good, but today, United, he's looked shaky in both of those games. I can't remember exactly what I said um, when we played Man United, but I remember him not having much to do. So I'm going to go 5 for Zubamendi. Gave the foul away for the goal, which is obviously unlucky. But yeah, I think a 5 is probably fair. And if we're being brutal here and we're speaking it how it is, Marino, I'm going to give. Oh, it's either a 6 or a 7. Um, I'm going to go for a 6, but you could easily give him a 6.5. Um, I'm going to give him a 6 though, just be fair. Madueke, I thought was the only real one that looked direct and up for it. Gyökeres put in good battles, but Madueke I think was probably our best player. I'm going to give him a 7 though. Um, you could make debates that he should be getting an 8, but I think when you lose a football match, anything above a 7, um, yeah, I'm going to give Madueke a 7, our best player though. Martinelli, 4, 3, no more than a 4. I've already said why. And Gyökeres, 6. I'm going to give Gyökeres a 6. I thought he played alright. He looked up for battles, but he's just not winning any of them up against the big boys at the moment. And I'm sure as time goes on, eventually he will. But to start off, just not at the moment. And substitutes, Eze, I'm going to give him a 7. He looked positive coming on. Dauman was the other one that came on, and Odegaard as well. I'm not going to rate Dauman because he played probably about 10 minutes, and yeah, I thought that was the other thing that annoyed me today. When the pressure was really on and we went 1 down, we just didn't have the response, to be completely honest. But yeah, I'm not going to rate Dauman because I don't think he really did much, and that's not his fault. He's 15 years old. And Odegaard, look, Martin Odegaard, right? There was a lot of speculation during the week on it if he was even going to be available for this game. If he's not fit enough to start, why is he in the squad? Yeah. After this game, I get it's one of the biggest games of the season and it's only game week 3. But if he's not fit enough to start, why is he in the squad? Yeah, we've got the international break coming up, and it's a good chance to let him recover if it's anything, even if it's just like a swelling and bruising that lasted a couple of days. It's a good time to let him recover. For me, I think I'm going to give him a 6. He is definitely looking a lot better from last season though. And yeah, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, disappointed obviously. Positives and negatives to take from the game. We've got the international break coming up now. However, content doesn't stop there. Friday Night Gunners will obviously be back. I've got a guest lined up, planned. However, I'm not going to reveal the guest until it's properly recorded and signed off. And I'll probably also maybe make another video on this game, although it's not really something that I want to do. Football shirt is on the way. I ordered it a week ago. Still hasn't arrived. And the WSL is back next weekend, so match reviews are not going anywhere. I will be watching that game and giving you my instant reaction like I have today. So, like, comment, subscribe and turn on notification bell so you don't miss it. And yeah, I'll see you next time.